Hello, our visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. How are you? Welcome back to our Momentum Monday. Momentum Monday. Today is our episode 149. I just came back from China, a quick, short trip. And some of our friends maybe noticed that today I did not get a chance to announce today's episode, but I'm here fully for you. I'm a little bit later than usual schedule. I want to talk about this coming back from almost like a desperation, come back from an end, from a death, from the end of life and opportunity. So I want to share with you this quick, it's just a 5 days China trip. Last week, remember I shared of my dad's, his sickness, his heart failure, surgery experience, and from January 20th to February, almost February 20th, about a 1 month. I went back to China, stayed a whole 1 month to take care of my dad. Went through the surgery, the heart surgery, went through his going through the ICUs and get back to we helped him get to the normal hospital room. But then, right before I left, get some symptoms back to the regular ICU again. So the whole journey till last Tuesday, last actually Monday night. Last week Monday night, I got this shock news that my dad passed away. Last Monday I was sharing fighting for life. Yeah, we have been fighting for life with my dad through that hard journey. It's very, very super hard. He has been staying in the hospital for 78 days total. From last year, December 31st, the last day, just right before the new year. He went to the emergency room of the hospital till when he passed away, totally 78 days. Exactly like his life, 78 years old. Not a very old age. But because of his heart failure, even with the heart surgery, still all this kind of complex symptoms, he could not survive the ICU's, quite a few days, quite a few times of ICU's harsh treatment. Very, very tough. So my dad passed away, the sudden news on Monday, and I booked flight right away for Tuesday morning and went back to attend his funeral. I'm so grateful that I made that decision right away that I need to go back, even though I just returned from China for not so long time, right? I need to go back. I made that good decision and went back to attend my dad's funeral and send him the last journey of his physical existence in this world. So grateful that I did my part as his daughter with that honor to send him away, to see him off. But the message here I want to share with you, we thought we could have a peace. No, my dad his soul could have a peace. But guess what? My dad, because he divorced many years ago, almost like 30 years ago with my mom, and he remarried with a much younger woman. And through all these years, me and my sister, as the dad's daughters, we had been treating that woman and her daughter from her previous marriage very well, especially my dad, treating them just as his own, especially the daughter. He treated the daughter as his own, and even more than his own, even better than he's been treating us, because the daughter, since she was just a few years old, yeah, and my dad raised her as his own daughter, even more better than his own daughter, so all these years. And till she get fully independent, and they've still been supporting her all the ways until they sent her to US as well. And I helped a lot as well for the lawyers consultation, everything, just like my sister and I. Even though my dad betrayed my mom because of this woman, and in my family basically literally was broken because of this lady and her daughter. But we, through all these years, been treating them very well. But guess what? After my dad died, we just get a notice from her, a surprising agreement, which showed that my dad signed it. If that's true, so far we could not prove anymore if it's a true signature or not. She and my dad signed an agreement that all my dad's belongings went to her only, without anything to me and my sister. A very shocking news to us after my dad's death. And we were still in the deep sorrow, deep pain of my dad's passing away, and then we saw this kind of agreement. Totally unfair, sneaky agreement which stole my dad's anything that belonged legally should belong to me and my sister, right? So anyway, just a long story short, we expressed our, it's like how to say that, we said that we do not trust this kind of agreement could come free will, really like free will from my dad, even though he signed that agreement, but we believe that's not from his heart, because we know that how close we are to our dad, right? We expressed our protestant of this kind of agreement, but we did not say too much because that's on my dad's funeral. So we just expressed our unbelieving of that, and also we said that's not fair. It's not totally fair because all my dad's belongings went to that woman and her daughter. And even though the agreement said no daughter will get any kind of a heritage, but that's really for stupid people, right? Anyone can know that the all the belongings will eventually went to her, and eventually will go to her daughter as well. So me and my sister, it's just like our rights were cruelly, unfairly being taken away, right? So it's like our dad did not leave anything to us. And thank God I still get I asked and I get those like small little picture books from my childhood. My dad kept it. That's like the only heritage we could take so far, all these books. Now I brought them just 5 days later, like yesterday, Sunday evening. I just returned to New York. I put about 2 small luggages, put all these little picture books from China, that China culture, like, which accompanied me through my childhood. I brought them all back to the New York. So that's the only thing I could keep so far. And we're still trying to negotiate with this woman to try to see that if she still have some conscience, that she could negotiate with her, and to have some, some, like they have quite some properties. My dad and her have some quite of properties. We are trying to see if I have at least one property she could possibly transfer to us, so me and my sister will share that. So like when we and our like dad's grandchildren, right, went back to China, to Chengdu, we can still have some place to stay. And my mom's still there in the senior, like old people, like senior center, so that we could visit her as well, to take care of her, and also could visit my dad's tomb and to worship him, to really show our respect to him when we go back. So that's our only request. We are never greedy people. We do not even like want to get a full that kind of a portion, or the portion of our like legally should belong to us, because we really do not want to argue and to fight for such kind of, for just for money. We want to get just at least a place like a family, still like a home to stay, and home to show respect to my dad's, his tomb, and also to take care of my mom in senior center. So that's all we're asking for. So here, this is just a background story. Here today, back to what we are talking about. Coming back for a new start. It's literally I'm coming back to New York for a new start, even though all this kind of like in China, the property things has not fully settled. But here, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, I want to share with you this message coming back for a new start. And remember, I'm also reading this book. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. And I have not finished it yet. I know it's a little bit slow, quite slow through my journey. This recent, 2 months, I've been quite delayed on my progress, but I'm glad I've still kept my reading habit. When I was in China, every day was, I did not get a chance, and those 4 days, 3 days, I took my time to accompany my mom. I was quite glad that I accompanied my mom. She never visited like a panda center in Chengdu, right? So close, but she never visited. I accompanied her right there, and we went to do some like nutrition search, and went to some store to learn about those kind of like Chinese traditional nutrition, how to do those like green things, right? We get all those different greens, and which green or which food could treat what kind of symptoms. And we did that learning, and get that kind of like customize the products. So I did that for my mom. I'm super happy that I did that to have some great quality time. I slept with her every day, every night. And back then, when I went back to take care of my father every night, almost every night, I took a long trip, almost like every day, like a commute over 3 hours to get back to my mom's place. Like in the daytime, I took care of my dad in the hospital. During nighttime, I went back to my mom's place to stay on the same bed to accompany her. And this time I went back to her place and accompanied her as well. So I'm glad that every time, no matter long or short, I accompany my mom with a quality time. Now my dad is in heaven, and we pray for his peace. Even though we are still settled the human words thing, right, on the earth, we pray for his peace, and we will do the best to have the peaceful way to settle it, to settle the current argument and like a conflict with the woman. And the woman he married and trusted for so many years, and did not really, is not taking care of his my dad's descendants. But anyway, pray for my dad's peace, and we will not really like fight. We will have a peaceful settlement, that's for sure. And pray for my dad's peace, and also pray for our peace. And actually, thanks to my coaching journey, 15 years in the coaching, and now as abundance coach, to empower visionary entrepreneurs, life changers, to step up for their call and stand out in their ideal niche, to impact many other people's lives. I'm super proud of myself to keep my posture, to keep my grace with my sister, and we forgive my dad, even though he signed that kind of a cruel agreement before his life. We believe that even though he signed it, it's not from his free will, and he never shared with us. That's why, because he may felt ashamed of that kind of agreement, but he compromised for his marriage, for that woman's whatever threat or whatever she used right away, and to make my father to sign that agreement. I shared on the funeral as a dad, no matter what you did, we forgive you, and we love you forever. We love you. And I shared on the funeral all the great things we shared with our dad, and the words he said, the possible positive words he said after his heart surgery. He shared that how we should have no fear. We should take things naturally to go through our life. Has no fear to to really fight through life, to have a peace of our mind and of life's whatever situation. and he encouraged us, and also especially his grandkids. And even though he went through very, very tough hospital journey, he used every ounce of his strength to sustain till the very last breath. I'm so proud of him, so proud. 78 days, very tough ICU journey, a few times of ICU back and forth. He's a strong man in his mind, and he's always positive, always positive, always positive. In my memory, he's always positive. Had a great passion for life, a great passion, really great passion for life. He's brave, very brave through any kind of situation. Many, many of his stories stayed in my mind since I was a child till the last end of his life. So now I'm coming back. I know it's physically my dad's life to the end, but his soul, his spirit is always with us. It's always with us. No matter what he did, especially his later life, not sounds like very unfair to me and my sister, his only children. Very unfair in the standards of the human being. But we totally forgive him. We know that in his heart he loves us. He loves us. And that love stays with us. It's spiritual, it's emotional, it's not measured by any money or materials. And I still have his videos, those short videos, by the way. If you visit my YouTube channel, Abundance YouTube channel, you will watch those short videos with his cooking, his like a recipe video. A few of them, quite a few of them, are just very short, like within 1 minute. I kept around 30, within 30 of them. Some of them I combine them, upload to it. So his different dishes, his different recipes. My dad is a gourmet. He's a great cook, and he shared, during last year of his life, some of his cooking recipes. It's a great, great memory to us as well. He finally learned how to use like shooting video. That's like hard for him, right? Shoot video and shared to us. So I'm so grateful we still kept that, and now it's on my YouTube channel. If you have interest, if you're gourmet, and also interested in Chinese recipe, right? So feel free to visit it. So that will stay with my channel for a long time. So hopefully it will inspire people who are gourmet and want to have good Chinese food. And here I want to share with you, now that I'm talking about this book. So on my flight back to New York from China, I went through Doha. So a long trip, totally 27 hours. By the way, when I went back, I also met some like challenge and trouble, like my flight, because I need to catch up the funeral on Thursday. I got my ticket for Tuesday and was supposed to get back to China on the late night of Wednesday night, so I could catch up a Thursday morning funeral. But my first flight went back to Hong Kong due to whatever technical issue was cancelled. What a big shock, right? What a big obstacle. So I did quite a few hours of back and forth and all this kind of operation stuff, logistic stuff, to finally get my flight to, to delay the flight, another flight, right? Much delayed, which was not supposed I could catch up the morning one. So I asked China, my sister, and another woman to arrange it for the afternoon so I could catch it. But fortunately, what is that? All the journey, even though at the beginning it's all such a big hurdle and big obstacle, but I met a few like angel-like persons, of supervisors working like for Cathay Pacific airline. They helped me to change. We did a lot of research and which itinerary, right, could help me catch, and eventually gave me another backup to go to Manila, Philippines, to transfer back to China. Supposed to get back to China early morning, like 7 a.m., something like that, to catch. But fortunately, my sister side, and they changed the funeral to the afternoon, and my flight gosh, my first delayed flight, right? Went back to China, only 20, get there like a 20 minutes earlier than the original schedule. And so I had that 20 minutes window to catch my original next transfer flight, even though they changed it to another flight, right, as a backup. But I ran all the way and get the great staff's help. He led me to run all the way within the airport. Supposed to be 15 minutes of transfer, 15 at least the 15 minutes of like a running. He got me through like express through the security check and running all the way to the gates, and which is already like getting people onboarding, and we caught that a few minutes, helped me get back to my original transfer flight, so I do not need to go to Manila, go to another two long journey, right, and transfer to Manila and transfer to China. So from Hong Kong, that angel person helped me to catch my original transfer flight within that 20 minutes window to cut it. And that's what I prayed. My God, whenever I had some adversity, had some big obstacle, I always put my hope in God and prayed and prayed and trust Him. And eventually that obstacle was solved. Like, even though I was delayed and my flight was cancelled, I got another delayed, much delayed, like afternoon, from morning flight to an afternoon flight. But still God let me called my next transfer one from Hong Kong back to China. So instead of go another detour back to China. So that's like almost like a miracle. And whenever I put my faith, my hope, and my trust in God, I get eventually, like at the beginning was very tough beginning, and eventually I got a good ending. So I'm super, super grateful. So the journey, I went back to my dad's funeral, right? So, and I took that full duty. I was holding his ashes, the box of his ashes, and connect and witnessed his from his last existing, his whole body, to be the ashes, and collect his ashes into the box and choose the box for him, that elegant box to hold his ashes this journey, and hold it, that heavy box, and to send him off. I'm super grateful I could do that as my duty as a daughter, to send my dad off from this earth, but keep his soul in our hearts and this whole journey. And especially also grateful for the last month I was there when he was in the hospital, to taking care of him as the baby, like as a child, basically, really like taking care of. He could not do almost like anything, and feed him and clean him, like taking care of a kid. I'm super grateful until to see his last time on this earth. I had a whole journey with my dad. So thank God for this protection and mercy. And now back to now it's a new challenge again, right? Just like I shared with you, this new adversity of his my dad did not leave any will except that kind of agreement that woman showed us. That's 5 years ago agreement, and she showed that to us till my dad passed away. After my dad passed away, so we could not verify with my dad. We could not talk with him. We could not even like discuss this right anymore. So this is a new adversity, and now I could put my faith in God again. It's like the end, right? It's like we had no any even from a legal condition, even though my sister was a judge for over 30 years, even though now she's retired, but she had 30 years of experience as a professional experience as a judge. And my sister-in-law is a lawyer over 30 years, a great lawyer, still a lawyer. Even with that, in Chinese legal environment, and by the way, my husband is a lawyer as well in the U.S. So with 2 lawyers and 1 judge, because of China's like not very complete and the legal environment, that kind of agreement always put us into almost like an end of any negotiation position, and we could not even verify if it's real or not, right? But in China, they would say that's okay still, like even though the person has already passed, they would still like honor it. So anyway, without witness signature, without notary, so that's it's like end. till now it's like it sounds like an end, even though every relatives of our side and my dad's like previous colleagues, they heard this kind of news. They said it's unfair, totally unfair to me and my sister. But nobody now in that legal environment could be like against that one, right? Against that kind of agreement with my dad's so-called signature on it. And this is like the end of the story, but I put my faith in my God, in God, and we are still trying to negotiate with this woman to see if she still have some any consents. It's possible we can get one, at least one property from multiple properties of my dad as a souvenir, as a memory of my dad, as a home, still home when we go back to China to visit my dad's tomb and to take care of my mom. We can still, my dad's descendants, right, can still have a place to stay, like a place we can call a home, a memory of my father, a place we can stay to take care of my mom, right? So we are totally not for fun money, but for a sense of home, a sense of something my dad could leave for us to still call a home, right? So we're now trying to negotiate that. And I cross my fingers with that woman's greed, with her greed and her daughter's greed. We are not sure. We're not like from our side just a 1 or 2% of possibility to really get them back to their consents to could negotiate with such kind of property. But I put my faith in God and pray for, please pray for us now. Pray for my dad's soul, his peace in the heaven, and also pray for this like new negotiation and agreement to be possible. But here I want to share with you this message from this book, from this 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This first habit, he totally shared 7 habits, and the first habit is the most important foundation. It's be proactive. And here he shared this model. So actually it's really related to the story, the whole story I'm sharing with you about my dad's passing away, about this kind of like agreement, right? It's shocking to us, an unfair agreement. But anyway, it's like this freedom of choice to choose, freedom of choice, freedom to choose. It's not now like the end of our for me and my sister. It's like the end of our situation, right? It's like we could not barely get anything from my dad's side. But here the freedom to choose, like the environment, sounds like a whole environment, right? My dad's passing away, this kind of a surprising unfair agreement showed up after his death and like leave us no space at all. This is an environment, this is a stimulus. Remember last time I shared with you the story from Viktor Frankl, who survived the Nazi Nazis Nazis death camp. Remember, he actually shared this. His story inspired this model, this proactive model, this freedom to choose model. That the last ounce of human freedom is within our like mind, right? It's in our spirit. That can whatever stimulus have, but we still like to our response between the stimulus to the response, we still have the freedom to choose. And this freedom has 4 components. First is the self-awareness. The second is imagination. The third one is conscience. The fourth one is independent will. I just found now this situation, our current situation, is almost like this, right? The stimulus is like putting us to the end of choices, almost like end, sounds like end in the legal environment, in whatever the environment, the social environment. But what's our before our response? We have the freedom to choose. Based on our self-awareness, we know that we have this, we know the relationship between us to our God is sincere, it's genuine, it's love, full of love. And we know that from our imagination what could be possible or impossible, and our conscience. And we trust that God still put a conscience, some basic conscience to whatever people, including such kind of greedy people, right? And we all have our independent will. Even though we saw this kind of unfair agreement, we still have our independent will. Like we know what is right. We have our conscience, right? Have our self-awareness as well. We know our dad. We know what's his true desire, what's his true love. And we know this agreement is not representing his true will. And he did not leave any will, even though he stayed in the hospital 78 days. For quite some time, he was clear. He has a consciousness, but he did not say anything about this agreement. That means it's not to, even though it's like his real signature, it's not according to his real will. So we had this conscience, and we also have our independent will to say that this is unfair, this is not the end of the road, right? And we still have our choices. So we're now trying to restart the negotiation with that woman. So that's our freedom to choose, no matter what's the result. Between the stimulus, the environment, whatever limitation, the condition, and to our response, we still have a choice from our side what could be possible to turn impossible to the possible. So far we don't know the result yet, but I put all my faith in our freedom to choose, and also in God's fairness, in God's love, in God's grace. So we will use his grace way to deal with this kind of adversity and challenge, almost like a dead of an end of a challenge, right? So we cross our fingers, but we also believe that we have these choices. So you always have your freedom to choose. Let me see. There are some great other like jewels and gold nuggets I want to share with you. And Dr. Stephen Covey said, "We most difficult experiences become the crucibles that forge our character and develop the internal powers." I really feel like this journey through the last end of the journey with my dad, including hospital, including now with the contract, right, with the agreement, whatever, the freedom to handle difficult situations, difficult circumstances in the future, and to inspire others to do so as well. So now I feel like I'm gaining through all these kind of difficult journeys through my, like years ago, my personal marriage crisis, like a life crisis, a suicidal, all this kind of journey, and to today with my dad through the most difficult hospital journey, and now this kind of after my dad passed away, this kind of a unfair agreement, and totally cruel kind of a situation. And that forged our character, the character to be stronger, the character to have the conscience, the character to be genuine, to still have the faith in God, and still trust the kind side, the beautiful side of human beings. We did not put an end to the end, but now, like the situation, right, we still have the trust in God's creation and to the human beings' conscience. So we're still doing this, like to develop our inner powers, our character and inner powers, and the freedom to handle difficult circumstances now and in the future, and to inspire others. I hope today this story is inspiring to you. And no matter what kind of difficult situation you are facing, I'm hoping that this is giving you some inspirations. So no matter what the results, right, we still have this choice. We still have this freedom to choose and to proactively choose what's our response. So now I am taking that initiation to negotiate with this woman to say what could be still possible. And we are not giving up. So this is a proactive, and to be resourceful and to leverage our relatives, and to like people are still in China who have the connection with her to negotiate, to talk, to have this, to try to turn her conscience back. And both resourceful, and also here he said, nothing has a greater, longer lasting impression upon another person than the awareness that someone has transcended suffering, has transcended circumstance, and is embodying and expressing a value that inspires and ennobles and lifts life. This kind of a courage, this kind of a faith in God, really faith in God. That, I hope, could inspire you, could also encourage you to lift your life up no matter where you are. Okay, and even though the environment could put us in a total like darkness and hopeless situation, never give up your faith in God, and never give up your self-awareness. Have that confidence in yourself, that conscience, the lost conscience and our freedom. Okay, and let's see. The highest, okay, the highest of the three values is what? Experiential, creative, attitudinal. So he said the highest of the three values is attitudinal. What our attitude to choose in whatever situation, right? What matters most is how we respond to what we experience in life. I'm proud of my sister and I. We kept our grace, our graceful posture, gratitude. We did not really like fight or argue and or cursing or whatever. We kept our grace. We kept our calm, keep our peace through our my dad's our dad's funeral, and till now after I returned, we communicate through the social media, through the family discussion group, and we kept our grace all the way. I'm super proud of both me and my sister, and our gesture to our dad, our forgiveness, our love, our forever love to him, and that's our response. And the larger perspective reflects the attitudinal values that lift and inspire us all. Okay, so let me see. And Dr. Covey's son, interesting. His son, Sean Covey, also shared quite some like his inspirations. I put some like signs here I want to share with you. How well they get along with other people. Okay, let me see which one is the part related to today's. The power to keep commitment to ourselves is the essence of developing the basic habits of effectiveness. The commitment to ourselves, and especially also, I'm very impressive. He said that kind of both fixed mindset and growth mindset, and the growth mindset. Okay, to help us put into the driver's seat. For example, in our situation, we are not like passively waiting, and we're now taking a lead. Like if you say previously, because of our dads, to protect our dad's emotion and do not hurt our dad's experience, we did not want to be that kind of aggressive, right? Because we do not want to hurt our dad's feelings and all his situation, because he's still depending on the woman to take care of him, especially through his last stage, right? So we did not be aggressive, and now totally it's just between us and this woman. So we are taking this driver's seat. We are not being passively just waiting or being led by others, right? By those evil drive or greedy drive. So we are now using a growth mindset to think that anything is possible, and there is still like space, even though it sounds like end of the situation. We still have like, we still keep our calmness, peace, and even this kind of the peace. Yes, the great, like he mentioned, the great by Dr. Angela Duckworth mentioned about this great, right? The resourcefulness and initiative, R&I, they call R&I, is the key predictors of success, also the key factors for the grit, the power of passion and perseverance. So now we have this kind of a love with for our dad, compassion for other people, including this woman and her daughter, and we have the perseverance through any kind of a difficult situation. That's a great. I'm happy that through all these kind of journeys, my own life's journey and the journey with my parents, with other people, we developed this grit in us. So this great one. And also he mentioned about Sean Covey mentioned about this transition person. Be the transition person here. This is important. I heard this from I think from who? From Ed Manette. He mentioned about this transition person, someone who stops the selective tendencies, habits, and patterns of the past, such as abuse, harmful addictions, and neglect. And this is the past. This is the past of my family. My father, because he's divorced with my mother, he married another much younger woman, And now, because of this kind of a not a will but agreement before his life, before his death, it's totally like a situation of neglect. It's a pattern of the family, and this transition person will stop this negative tendency, this kind of a habit and a pattern of the past in their generation, and instead passed on to their family, friends, and associates more positive habits, patterns, and tendencies. I feel like I am this transition person of my family. The whole, like, between this different generations, from my dad's side, from my husband's side, from my husband's dad's side, these two families have this kind of a tendency, including my husband still have this kind of a negative pattern, neglection to my kids, to our kids. My kids are still like suffering from time from that kind of a pattern. I am this kind of a transition person, giving the full heart, full compassion, love, both to my parents, even though my father, almost like neglected us, through his divorce and now through this kind of agreement. We are having full forgiveness and also love to him, and also this kind of love to my kids. So to stop this kind of a negative pattern, no matter if this kind of pattern previously influenced us and now still, like my husband said, still actively every day influencing us, I am the person to stop it with my faith, with my compassion, with my love, to stop it. So this kind of transition person. And if you are in your whatever situation you are, your family, many of us, everyone, almost everyone from different angle, different kind of situations have that kind of pattern. We could be like either you could still keep to be the victim or become this kind of a transition person to stop this pattern, starting with you, just like you said, hi Nathan, hello. And it's just like whatever situation, whatever such kind of a generational patterns, negative ones, we are all like influenced by it. But you could be the person, the transition person, to stop it. Okay, take that full responsibility. Do not find any kind of excuses from your environment or your family, your like conditions to say, oh, I have to become this one, or I am a victim, and that's not our choice. Now our freedom of choice is we can be this transition person, starting from you, from your generation, instead of like put like blames to your older generation, your parents or the previous parents, and or to any kind of a excuse to the next, like find excuse to your next generations. I would say to have the ending, that negative pattern ending from you, so you become this transition person to start the positive new pattern, the new environment, the new tendency. Okay, majority of us, from what I know, almost everybody, including like Adam Manet, including Tony Robbins, including like Mr. Stephen Covey, including Mr. Sean Covey, right? All of them had this kind of a, we can call like baggage, right, from our family history. Everybody get it. Life is fair. Every one of us had it. Adversity, different forms, just different kind of like accustomed forms, right, for all of us. That's the life. That's life, true life. But we all get this opportunity of a freedom of choice, and also the choice to become the transition person, to stop those negative pattern from a family history and to start a new pattern from us, right? And so I'm taking that full commitment to myself, to my family, and taking that responsibility and that honor, this honor to be this transition person, to start a new pattern, to have this full forgiveness and passion and love. And so not just for our own families, but for many, many others, to inspire other people, like my call as a professional coach right here, to empower other visionary entrepreneurs, life changers, to really step up, further call, stand out as confident expert thought leaders to impact, transform many other lives. So I hope today's message, be that transition person and have a coming back to start a new, really like a new start, right? To for this new start. I hope this can inspire you, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of adversities or like step backs and withdrawals, all this kind of or challenges or difficulties, adversities you are going through. I know that every day we have it, right? No matter in our life or in our business, we all have such kind of challenges. My message to you today is coming back. Okay, we're all coming back. Have this choice, have the freedom of choice, coming back for a new start, and have the faith that we have the freedom to choose, and we can be this transition person of our generations, and give this hope, love, and faith, belief, and confidence and abundance to ourselves and our next generations. Okay, be that person, that transition person. I love you, and I wish all of you will stand up. Okay, stand up. There are so many lives waiting for us to change their lives, to bring that light, that hope, that love, that compassion, and that passion, and that abundance to their lives as well. So be that one. Okay, and we will see you soon. And by the way, this Thursday we will have our live, we will resume our live masterclass again. Launch your profitable and impactful coaching business in 90 days and stand out as confident expert and thought leader in your field. All right, we'll look forward to seeing you in our masterclass, and let's come back for a new start. Thank you for being you, and for staying with us. I will look forward to seeing you in our masterclass and also in our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs, our community, a wonderful community, and also on our YouTube. If you are watching it, subscribe to our YouTube, Abundance YouTube. So let's grow and impact more lives together. Thank you. Taking good care. Bye-bye.